Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my backyard. This time, we've got a special guest here. This is Paul. He brought this Pecan crotch all the way from New Mexico. It's got an interesting story behind it, so we're gonna get it sawn up today. So Paul is gonna tell us a little bit about the log, its history and its story, and then we're gonna get it onto the mill and we're gonna try and cut a cookie off the end.
So this pecan tree is about 100 years old. I was out in front of my parents' yard. They have a 5-acre pecan orchard in southern New Mexico. The tree, as you can kind of see in some of the places, was starting to die off and was no longer producing any nuts. So we decided to take it down, and since I'm a woodworker, we wanted to make something really nice out of it. So we started off with this limb. That was a couple years ago, and then we took down these 2 limbs and took down the rest of the tree. Interesting story about this limb. When I cut it down, there was all kinds of wonderful critters in there, wasps and cockroaches and beetles. There was also a little bat, and so that was kind of interesting. The base is roughly 43 inches in diameter. It is about a 100-year-old tree. It's been sitting outside for about 1.5 years now, ever since we cut it down. So this side was facing south, so it's nice and checked. So even though I did put anchor seal on it. The top is about 46 inches or so, and the height is about roughly 36 inches, so it's a good sized log. As you'll see when we start cutting it up, it's kind of all over the place on character. So
And then
it's one of Matt's kind of logs.
So here's the question for you to answer. So the rest of it's already been sawn. Why is this one here?
Because my chainsaw mill can only do 30 inches. I wanted to get the entire width of this thing as much as I possibly could, and I don't know of anybody in this world, except for maybe one person in Texas, that has a bandsaw that can actually handle this thing. So I'm a big fan of, just like everybody else out there is, of Matt. So I asked him, and he was kind enough to do this for me. So
It's been on the list for a long time. Get the saw set up, and we are going to cut little charcuterie size stuff out of this little limb here until we get down to the actual crotch section. So I'll have a little more yield of some small stuff, and we'll do that until, again, we get down to the full width cut, and then we'll probably start making some slabs. Oh yeah. That is such a deep red. The other pecan I had was super pink. This is like a super deep brown red. Look at this. Look at this crazy green. Look at this stuff.
it's crazy.
A little bit of figure there. A little figure on this one too. This one's got some ripples coming through here and some really cool color. So what do you think? Ah, it's nice.
It's breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking.
So we got one more piece up here to take off, and I think, what do you think? Do you want to start making the actual slabs now, Or one more? One more cut or slabs?
I don't know.
Or like a
What do you think?
thicker? Because we're not all the way down to the wood yet. We're still in bark over here.
Yeah.
So maybe even a piece of like 9/4, 8/4, 6/4, something like that, just to get us further down to here. And then we'll start making the actual slabs. Let's do that. That is nuts. Like just absolutely nuts.
Spalting. This is the first dead limb, second dead limb. That one was still alive.
This is cool. It's gonna be really cool now we start getting into the actual figure. This combined with the actual figure, because this is just color right now, not figure. Okay, let's make some slabs. So that's about as many slabs we can get full width on. So we're gonna offload these and then we'll roll a little remainder piece over and cut some more stuff out of that. But it's time to look at wood. Paul, show us the wood. Oh. Oh. That's nuts. And that's not even the good ones yet. We're not even in there yet.
And that's the scary part. Cool. This is not going to be fun doing it myself.
Make some friends. Show me the wood. Ah, so we're starting to get into the crotch figure now. I see. That's good. That's what you want to see. A little bit of crotch through here and still have the crazy flame grain down here. Show us that wood. Yeah, that's got some crotch figure in it now, for real.
Oh.
Yep, there's the good stuff.
And still spalting.
This stuff is crazy. Look at that. Ugh. Wow. So like 40-ish in the narrow area. 43, 44 up here, so that's a pretty good sized crotch. Okay, this one should be the best one. It should have the most amount of crotch figure. You can already see it peeking through here all the way down. That's incredible. Look at this stuff. This is crazy. You know what you're doing. You know what you're getting into. Woohoo. I like this, I don't know, weird yellow spot.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. That's some seriously intense crotch figure. For real. And this is the point I think I got so excited that I knocked the receiver out of my camera and lost the audio for this little few segments here. But it's pretty easy to recreate. Just like splish splash, ooh, ah, crotch figure, ah. This stuff was absolutely amazing. As I'm actually looking back and watching the footage, I forgot like how excited Paul was to look at all the wood, every single cut. I'd be trying to get the camera off the tripod for the next shot, and he'd already be there splashing water on the slabs. It's just, it definitely was a lot of fun to be around someone who has so much appreciation for the beauty of the wood. Now here we had a sequential pair of slabs on the trailer, and we have them opened up as a book match from the end, what I like to call an end match. So Paul is just showing me how he's planning on joining two of these together at the ends to create a longer tabletop. So with the end match, to be able to get a longer tabletop, in this case about 8 feet long, so a kind of normal-ish size tabletop after it's all trimmed down to size. Once we got through loading the rest of those slabs onto the trailer, we can go ahead and flip over the remainder and saw what's left out of it, trying to get as much material out of this thing as possible since it has traveled so far to be here.
Nice reds.
Yeah, just like the rest of it. Surprise.
Yeah. Imagine that.
This is some cool stuff. Okay, the pecan's all loaded up. Paul also brought these two goofy pieces of apple. So we're gonna give these a cut and see what's going on in there. Got this like crazy furrow on this one. The other one here has got some crazy spiral thing going on. So make a flat facing cut, roll them over, and then we'll slice them up into some live edge board things. Yeah, this one's got some rot to it. That's cool.
That's got some nice color to it.
So we're past the punky spots, now we're just into the colorful spalted parts from this rotted area here. That one's got some cool color too. Hey, we got some crotch figure. Hey, oh. That's a win in my book.
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at that, old limb.
Yeah.
You can see the tree grew around an old limb that was cut off. Probably pruned, judging by how clean that cut is. That's cool. See, Paul's a lot more gentle with the water than I am. I am very much more aggressive.
I am from Colorado, where we're kind of, it's an arid environment and we got to be sparing on water.
Well, this is we got 10,000 lakes here, so I got plenty of water here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Look at this figure right here. That's awesome.
That's a really pretty.
Apple's nice. So the apple and pecan is all loaded up back onto Paul's trailer, ready to head back to Colorado. Him and his wife went on a little bit of a vacation thing, so they've been sightseeing for a few days. So this is gonna head back with them today. And it's a heck of a load of wood. I'm really happy and really thankful that Paul made the trip. It's allowed me to see things that I don't normally get to see because, you know, pecan doesn't really grow around here and I don't see a whole lot of apple, at least not that big. So thank you again for that, Paul. He did offer me some of the wood, but as someone who has way too much wood already, I declined, mostly. I picked up, I kept a few small pieces. I think that made him happy. So when those are dry, we'll have a piece of apple and a piece of Paul's pecan to make something out of, you know, whenever that happens in the future. So this was a lot of fun. It is so much fun being around other people that are passionate about wood, especially someone who's passionate about the piece of wood they happen to bring by, because it has so much emotional connection and memories for that person. So if you ever have the opportunity to get around someone who's also passionate to get around someone who's as passionate about the same things as you are, I highly recommend doing it. So that's my little thing. So I hope you enjoyed this sawmill little adventure thing. I certainly did. The pecan's amazing. Anywho, thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the sawmill or anything back in the shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.